Namo Doi Savarigantanam, Namo Doi Savasudanam, Namo Doi Savayiriyam, Namo Doi Savujayam, Namo Doi Savatiravati Savanam, Omkaramindu Sanyutam Nityam Jayanti Yogina, Ramatam Moshadam Chayumkarai Namo Manganam Bhagavami Manganam Rupanami, Manganam Kari Ujendra Bosu Manganam Namasana, Swanam Bhatyakati Swadhay Bhavaya Namo Doi Savarigantanam, Namo Doi Savasudanam.
Namo Namo Siddham Namo Aryam Namo Jana Namo Love Sarvasam Panchanamakaro Sarvapam Sarvapam Omkaram Nityam Jayanti Yoginam Namadam Moksham Samaysaraya Swanam Bhutya Chakasate Bhavaya Bhavaya Sarvabhavantarachade Ajnanam Jnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksu Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Tirthankara Jayatana Jayavantavarto Omkarana Namo Jayavantavarto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayavantavarto Netirthachara Jayavantavarto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadhane Omkara Sangaryothene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundanim Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dvani Divyano Jina Kunda Dvani Apya Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Te Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupamagati Pamela Sarve Siddhane Vandi Kahun Sutta Kevali Bhasit Asamaya Prabhata Are Ho Eka Suddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darshanamaya Kayanyate Maru Jari Paramahumatra Are Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Suddhatmane Namaha. Jai Jinendra. So we'll be starting today, and we'll be starting next stanza, which is stanza number 3. As you know, we just did this 2 stanza, and before that we did the beginning of the Samaysar, what Samaysar means and everything. So here, now, in the first stanza, there was a salutation given to the liberated soul. As we said before, that in Indian philosophy, especially in Jain philosophy, always in the beginning there will be a preface given, one or 2 stanza. That means it will just say exactly what author is going to talk in this stanza. The first stanza in the Samaysar was bind unto liberated soul, and that's why author expressed the desire that I would like to liberate my soul also, and I'm going to talk to you about how to achieve that state. So that was our first stanza. Second stanza, it said, what is the Swasamay and Parsamay? What is to be soul engrossed in the natural state and soul engrossed in the alien state. And we went through extensive 3 or 4 classes for those things. And now we know what is the soul getting engrossed in the natural state. And we also know what is the soul getting engrossed in the alien state. Now, the flow is beautiful in this Samaysar, that having said Swasamay and Parsamay, having said net nature and alien nature, now in this stanza it says that what is the, why this alien nature is not appropriate. So that's what we are going to discuss in this one. We'll read this first. Eyatichayagado samo savatsundaro loge bandakaha eyate tena visamvadini hodi And then there is a meaning of that stanza that Amrit Chandra Acharya wrote down 1,000 years back. Now, this is the Gujarati that we'll be reading that one together. this stanza, will read that one. Ekatva nishaya gata samaya sarvatra sundara lokama tethi bane vikhavadini bandhana katha ekatvama. So what does it say in this stanza? Upodgat means introduction to the stanza. Each stanza will have, as we talked before, 4 things are there. Upodgat means introduction to the stanza. Then Gatha means meaning of the stanza. Then Tika means explanation by Amrit Chandra Acharya. And 4th one is a Bhavat, means a further explanation by Pandit Jaychandji Chabda. So 4 things. So first thing is Upodgat, means introduction. What does this introduction says over here? It says in 2nd stanza, it was saying that when soul gets engrossed in the true nature, then it was genuine. Upon getting engrossed in the alien being, there is deprivation of the self, and therefore duality is generated. How is the duality generated? Me, soul, looking at the matter particle, means fruition of the karma. These 2 things are involved, and as a result, the state is produced that is called altered state. That's why it's called duality. Dvait and Advait. The soul getting engrossed in the true nature means me and the soul are one and the one thing only. So it's non-duality. Advait. And me and the matter particle, fruition of the material karma. 2 things, and as a result, whatever is produced is called duality is generated, and that is an altered state is generated. And now in this 3rd stanza, it says, what's the problem with this duality nature? I mean, so duality is there, so what? But there is a problem. And author is beautifully saying, what is this problem? Remember, up to first 5 stanza is kind of introductory, because the 6th and 7th stanza are the real heart of the whole Samaysar. But to bring to the 6th and 7th stanza, I mean, it just gives introductory thing, and slowly, author is very intelligent. He's drowning, he's slowly pulling all of us into the ocean of knowledge gradually. And so we are going deeper and deeper and deeper. And once we reach 6th and 7th stanza, there is abyss. There is no point of return, you know. I mean, so it's amazing. I was reading for the last 2 days that 6th stanza, I mean, 1 paragraph alone to digest, it takes 2 to 3 hours. You know, it was amazing amount of things are mentioned in that 6th and 7th stanza. So we are coming to those things. So here, what is the duality? So we are just going to go. So this is the meaning of this stanza in Gujarati, which now we are going to slide by slide. Gatharth means meaning of the stanza. There is a substance having solitariness with the self, has a beauty of its own in the universe. Every product is beautiful if that product has a solitariness within self. So, who am I? I'm the soul. If I have solitariness with my soul, then it's the most beautiful thing in the universe. Then, innate form or deleted form, substance maintains its own existence. Whether substance is in innate form, solitariness, or duality state, in diluted form, but substance maintains its own existence. I am the soul. I was in the lowest form of life, Nigod, and then I came out and I became 1 sense, 2 sense, 3 sense, 4 sense, and 5 sense human being. And tomorrow I may be animal life, plant life, or a hellish soul, or a celestial being. Whatever happens, I maintain my own existence as a soul. So soul is always maintained, and so is a matter. If this is a matter particle, this matter particle combined together, lots of atom combined together, made this one as an iPod. This iPod is a collection of an infinite amount of matter atoms, atomic particles. Those atomic particles, they are joined over here, but then when this thing breaks down, then it merges, all those atomic particles merge into the universe, and then they get joined again. But atomic particle will maintain its own existence. Science also has said today that matter cannot be destroyed, cannot be generated, it changes the form. Water becomes vapor, becomes snow, becomes water, becomes vapor. It keeps on changing the form, but H2O remain exactly the same since beginning of the time, which there is eternity. There is no beginning of the time. So beginningless time to the eternal time in the future, that water will remain as water. It will keep on changing form. This soul will remain as soul, will keep on changing the form. So it maintains its own existence. Now, diluted form is associated with misery. Why am I having misery? Because I'm in a diluted state. Wait a second, how can I be misery? How can I have a misery right now? I already had a nice supper tonight. I'm well hydrated. I took a nap in the afternoon. I'm well rested. There is misery within me. Well, my misery is perceived every moment, because I believe this body is mine, body is mine, body is mine. That kind of belief that I have, that kind of wrong belief I have, that is called mithyatva, wrong belief. That wrong belief leads me to further karma bondage, and fruition of those karma occurs. And when I join with those fruition of karma, then I end up making another form of karma bondage. So this cycle keeps on repeating. So likes and dislike, the auspiciousness, inauspiciousness keeps on occurring within me, which is my altered state. It's not my natural state. And that's why it produces misery. I end up with a birth and death cycle of transmigration because of this misery of this karma fruition. Because of those kind of things, that I have intense pain at a birth, intense pain at the time of death, and in between also there are lots and lots of intense sufferings are going on. So deluded form is associated with the misery, and soul having solitariness with the self is excellent. So when I have solitariness with my own natural self, then it's an excellent condition. Then I'll be liberated soul, I'll be Siddha soul, I'll be Aryan soul, I'll be omniscient soul. So I have to have solitariness with me. So all the matter atomic particle also, when they are in the atomic phase, free from anything else, and simple one atomic particle, then it is a free, and that is in its own natural state. But matter particles, they don't have consciousness, they don't feel pain or suffering. That's why we ignore them. What is important thing is a conscious natured myself who has feelings. I have a feeling of misery and happiness, and that's why the altered state occurring within me is mainly described. Rest of the things, because they don't have consciousness, so they don't feel. So solitariness of soul is an excellent condition. Now, further it says in the meaning of the stanza, word excellence. When we just said here, word excellent, what is word excellence means what? Word excellent has two meanings. One, every substance from substantial perspective, Dravya Drashti, has its own excellency. It has never become incomplete, impure, adverse or with divisions. It is true from 1 sense to 5 sense living being. And it is also true for the liberated souls too. When I'm looking from substance perspective, remember that two perspectives are the modal perspective and substance perspective. Substance means eternal perspective. Me as a soul substance is there since time time infinite in the past and time immortal in the future. When I am there, then I have, from substance perspective, I'm pure. Gold is a pure when it's in the mind, or it is in the form of ornaments, or it is in the form of 100% pure gold coin. The same way, soul from substance perspective is a pure. Siddha Bhagwan, liberated soul, is a pure from substance perspective. Me, from substance perspective, is pure. But my problem is in the mode. My mode is having problems. So, substance perspective, every substance is its own excellency. It has never become incomplete because it's pure and complete all the time. It has never been incomplete, never been impure from substance perspective. Remember that word substance perspective is very important. That I as a soul was never been incomplete, never been impure, never been having adverse or divisions within me. It's true from 1 sense to 5 sense living. Every living being, this is true from substance perspective. Now, every substance is pure and with its own excellency. This is manifested in the mode in the form of right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. Samyak darshan, samyak jnana, samyak charitra. With indivisible triple gem, one ends up excellencies, experience this excellency. Remember, I am having excellency. I am a pure soul from substance perspective, but I have never experienced, because all the time my mode is directed to the alien objects, and so I perceive alien objects to be mine, and as a result I create inclination of attachment and aversion. I create rag and dvesh. But this purity of substance, purity of my soul, which is excellent in nature, it can be manifested in the mode if I bring my attention to my soul, my pure nature of the eternal true nature of the soul. And when I do that, then in my mode there is a right faith, right concept, right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct appears. And this indivisible triple gem, remember, right faith, right knowledge, right conduct, they all three are in indivisible form. And this indivisible form of triple gem, with that indivisible triple gem, one ends up experiencing this excellency. So here it is potentially, it is there. Here it is manifested. So these excellencies are potential excellency and this manifested excellency. So that's what it means, word excellency. Now, further, it says that ekatva nishchayane prapta means one who has perceived the solitariness of the soul. One who has perceived the solitary nature of the soul. That means soul is always pure from substantial perspective, as we talked about it. And when one obtains triple gem of right faith, knowledge, and conduct, then this beauty is perceived. This is there present in the form of potency. And this is there in the form of manifestation. So, ekatva nishchayane prapta means one who has perceived the solitariness of the soul. It is already there here in the form of potency, but it is manifested. So now I have perceived that ekatva nishchayane prapta means I have perceived the solitariness of my soul. Okay, now going further. Bijana sathe bandhani katha means bonded with the alien belongings. When I'm, instead of directing my attention to the pure nature of the soul, I'm projecting myself with alien objects of the universe. I look at I focus my attention to the fruition of the material karma. So when I'm showing my attention to the fruition of the karma, means I end up bondage of the further karma, and soul ends up with bondage as a result of fruition of karma. Listen, fruition of karma is there. Fruition of karma only produces the situation for me to act, to get involved, or not to get involved in that situation in my own pure choice. So the fruition of karma simply gives me the situation. If there is a situation for me to become angry. To become angry or not to become angry is my own doing. It's my own choice. The trigger is in my hand. So situation doesn't change. If I go to doctor today and they said I have a terminal cancer and I have 3 months to live, now choice is mine. Do I break down right there? Or do I say, oh, I still have 3 months. I can go within myself and I can redirect my attention to my pure nature of the soul, and I can obtain self-realization too. Choice is mine. Situation is there. Its situation is there. I can keep on crying and blaming whole universe, and I will die not within 3 months, but within 1 week I will die. But if I pay attention to my true nature, I can also obtain the right faith, Samyak Darshan. So, this is what the soul ends up with bondage as fruition of material karma. Now, this is reprehensible. When I end up bondage with the fruition of bondage of further karma, then it is reprehensible, nindaniya. It is deceiving myself. It is visambad, and it is contrary. Contrary means it is below, it is wrong. So to direct my attention to the alien object is reprehensible, deceiving, and contrary. So those are the things, and this makes soul as non-self entity. Means I become anatma. Means I have directed attention to the alien objects and I become like an alien object, and that's why I become non-self entity, which is not the true thing, which is the reason for suffering. And this is what is described in this stanza at great length about why this non-self entity is bad, it's reprehensible, deceiving, and contrary. So those are the things that we'll be talking. So now the Tika starts. Tika means the further explanation by Acharya Amritchandracharya Dev. Remember, as we said before, that originally stanza is written by Kunkun Swami, which is about 2000 years back. Then after 1000 years of that writing the things, Amritchandracharya Acharya came and he wrote down further explanation of this Samaysar. And last century, we had Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami, who extremely nicely, in detail, explained all this stanza, so much that for 45 years, every day, he took the lectures on Samaysar and tried to explain to us, and we are the direct beneficiary of those 45 years of lecture of Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami, that we are able to understand the philosophy in great detail and see who I am, what's my true nature, why I'm existing, what can I do to be in a supersensuous bliss forever, and that is Samaysar telling all this. Lots of scriptures are there. Lots of scripture from lots of different perspectives are there. This one is like that Arjun. Those 5 Pandav brothers are there, and they are being taught how to use the bow and arrow. This is 5,000 years back, epic story. And his Dronacharya is his guru, and he's taking exam from everybody, and everybody, he says, okay, what do you see? Well, I see the road, and then there are lots of trees are there, and there is one tree, and then there is one bird is sitting. Well, you are out. Second one, same thing. Third one, same thing. When the urgent time comes, he's going to go an arrow and say, look at that bird and tell me, what do you see right now? He says, Guruji, I can't see anything except the right eye of the bird. This is the artificial bird, they put it on the tree. So Guru said, that's what it is, because you have concentrated on the real thing that I wanted to teach you, and now you can release the arrow, and the arrow went and take care of that artificial bird. So really what it is here, Samaysar is an extremely narrow focused thing about my soul only. Who am I? What I want to achieve? How can I achieve? That's it. The whole universe is there. The whole universe is there. We can keep on talking. Last week we talked, and I'm pretty sure I confused lots of people also about the nature of the universe and everything. So what? It is there. It is not important for me. Important is my soul, and that's what Samaysar teaches us, and that's why we are going. So now we are going to go to Tika. So these are the Gujarati words. Then over here, now Tika means commentary by Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev. What he says that we are going to read about it. Samay. Now, word Samay is coming since the very first day we started Samaysar. Word Samay has different meanings are given. Over here, Acharya Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev gives even different meaning of word Samay. Samay means substance, having unity with its attributes and mode, and also having transformation is known as Samay. Samay means a substance, given substance. There are 6 universal substances in the universe: soul, matter, medium of motion, medium of trace, space and time. 6 universal substances are there. Each substance has infinite amount of attributes within, and each attribute, every moment, every Samay keeps on producing modes of its own. So this Samay means this substance having unity with its attribute and modes, and also having transformation is known as Samay. This substance keeps on transforming all the time. This ocean keeps on producing the waves each and every day, non-stop, continuously, since the existence of the ocean. Same here, that this the Samay has a substance with unity with its attributes and modes, and so has transformation of its own. That's called Samay. And all 6 substances therefore are Samay. Remember, Samay also, we went through different definitions in stanza number 2 and stanza number 1 and everything. So, you know, if you want to recapitulate, you go through the previous slide and you'll be able to get the meaning of the Samay. Out of this, all the 6 substances, most important substance is soul, and that is my soul. Me as a soul is most important. So that is also called Samay, you know. So then the Mangalacharan, the invocation blessing says, Namo Samaysaraya Swanu Bhutya Chakasate Chit Sabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantara Chide, means I am the Samay means the soul, but Sar means Samaysar. Samay means the soul. Over here it says 6 substances, but in general, out of 6 substances, most important is my soul. And out of soul also, what's the most important thing? The purity nature of the soul is most important, and that's why it's called Samaysar. Now, let's see next. Okay, for a given substance to be in its own true nature, and it obtains its excellency. Sundarta. This is word Sundarta. Sundarta means for a given substance to be in its own true nature, then it obtains its excellency. How will I get my excellency? I get engrossed within my true nature. That is my excellency. Okay. Now, mixing the two substances, me and fruition of karma, get together. There is hybridization fault. This is the inferior and unimpressive. Two things which are entirely separate, I made them as one. I made them as hybrid nature, and that is the hybridization fault and mixing of these two substances, and this is inferior and is unimpressive. Two faults occurs. What are two substances merge and will become one? What are the two substances merge and will become one, or one substance become another? My body means body and me are merged together, or me as a body. One substance becomes another. Me means I'm the conscious nature, eternal true nature of soul, and then I just say I am Kirit, means I am body. So one substance becomes another. There are two faults with this mixing up of two substances. So that is inferior and is unimpressive. Now, what happens further? Every substance remains in indivisibility state with its infinite attributes and present mode. This substance, soul substance, and every other substances, me as a soul substance, all other universal souls, and all the matter particle in the universe, medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time, all these substances remain in indivisibility state with its own infinite attributes and present mode. All those things are in one unit indivisible state. Soul never touches matter and vice versa. Matter never touches soul, soul never touches matter. Remember, as we said long back, I think 4, 5, 6 Swadhay before, that all the 6 universal substances are represented in each and every space point of the universe. How? How that is possible? How that is possible? Because the lokakas, the cosmic space where all the 6 substances are seen, this cosmic space can be divided into several parts. If I take one piece of paper like this over here, and I rip into the 2 parts and further 2 parts and further 2 parts, and I keep on making pieces after pieces after pieces, and so on, narrower and smaller and smaller and smaller, and then I come to a point in which I cannot make further piece of that paper, then that it is called one atomic particle. This one atomic particle, don't get confused with this atom of the science. Atom of the science is a huge thing according to Jainism. Atom of the science has protons and neutrons and electrons, and protons has quarks and all kind of things, and their subparts are there. So it is not the final product. Final product according to Jainism is, lack of better word, we call atom. This atom is a last part, cannot be further divided. And that occupies one space point of the cosmic space. This cosmic space has innumerable space points. Innumerable means uncounted space points. This cosmic space includes all the galaxies and Milky Ways, infinite galaxies, infinite sun system, all those things, 7 hells, 16 heavens, and all kind of things are included. And when we divide them into the smallest possible space, that is called one space point of the universe, cosmic space. So this universe has innumerable space points. Okay. Now, how many souls are there in this universe? Infinite. Infinite soul to occupy innumerable space point means at least a given space point, at least one soul is represented, because innumerable and infinite. Infinite is an infinite times more than innumerables. So these souls are occupying minimum. Every space point has a presence of a soul there. Now, matter particles are infinite times infinite. So in the innumerable space point, infinite times infinite matter particle needs to stay occupying this universe. So they also, every space point, matter particles are represented. Okay, now medium of motion, medium of rest. They both are one unit, and they also have innumerable space point, because they are. So what is the size of the universe? Whatever the size of the universe that we saw last week, that's the same. The shape of the medium of motion is same as a universe. Medium of rest is the same shape of the universe, and they are one in nature. That means each and every smallest space point of the cosmic space, there is a presence of medium of motion and medium of rest. Now remains space. Space is also having an innumerable space point for cosmic space. So each space point of the space is represented in a cosmic space point. Last thing is Kalanu. Kalanu means time. Time particles are one unit. One unit. That one unit occupies one smallest space point of the universe. So in the universe, you have innumerable space point, infinite souls, infinite matter particles, medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time. They are represented in each and every space point. So all the 6 universal substances are represented in this one space point of the universe. In spite of that, soul never touches matter, and vice versa. For example, in my room right now, there could be red, yellow, and green lights. All the 3 lights are on, and they will occupy the same room to give the lights. Each and every part of the room will have, every square inch of this room will have yellow, green, and red light present. But red light will maintain its own existence. So is yellow, so is green. Similarly, soul never touches matter, matter never touches the soul. Now, each substance remains independent and never touches other substances of the universe, in spite of them having this close relationship since time infinite. It's amazing that, I start depending on the other objects of the universe. If I don't have a good car, I don't like it. If I don't have good clothes, I don't like it. If I don't have a good food, why should I get dependent on other objective things? I'm independent. Since time infinite, I'm independent. I will maintain my independence throughout. I have never merged with any of the substance of the universe. The universe has infinite amount of matter particles. In my existence since time infinite, I have grabbed all those particles with me infinite times and left them also infinite times. But still, I have kept my independence. Matter particles kept their independence. Now, every one atom does not touch, even one atom does not touch another atom. Soul does not touch matter particle, but even one atom does not touch the other. This iPod has infinite amount of atomic particles, but they represent themselves. They don't merge with anything else, and they maintain their own existence. So this is the existence, independent existence of all these substances, and that's why they are excellent. Now, first lesson in the discriminative science. First lesson in the discriminative science, Ved Vignan. It teaches that every matter, atomic particles are independent and does not touch one another. I want to do the Ved Vignan. I want to do discriminative science. Forget about soul's discrimination science. First, I have to start with the atom and I have to understand that each and every atom particle, they maintain their unique characteristics and do not merge with the other substance. Yes, the atomic particle has a touch sensation, stickiness, and because of the stickiness, it will stick to the other particle. But while these two particles are stuck to each other, they still maintain their own individuality. They do not lose their individuality. This is true in atom, the matter particle, which are non-conscious in nature. Why me as a conscious nature cannot understand that I am also independent and does not belong to anybody else. Then, for example, it says, knife does not touch vegetables. Spoken words come out of their own. Food does not touch the... This is very radical idea. So that will take a little while for us to digest. What it says, I am cutting the vegetables and I see that because of vegetables, because of knife, the vegetables get cut. But knife particles are present in the knife and vegetable particles are present in vegetables. The modes of the vegetable at this time, the mode of this banana at this time is to be in pieces. Knife, mode of the knife, mode of the particles in the knife are there in the form of cutting those things. Just knife is moving. At the same time, the vegetables had their own modes to be into different pieces. So vegetable became different pieces and knife made its own movement. They both have independent nature action occurred. Independent natural action occurred. So that's why knife did not touch vegetables. Spoken words, the speech particles. Speech particles at this time had certain mode to come in the form of words. That's why the words came out. I did not do anything. Me as a soul, I just had an inclination that maybe the words can come out. And at the same time, we see that the words are also coming out because I thought about it, because I know about it, that's why I can speak. Those are all wrong understanding on my part. Foot does not touch the ground. Ground has its own particles and ground keeps on making its own modes and everything. And my foot makes its own mode of walking. Foot, ground particles, even they appear to be touching each other, but they are not touching each other. Foot is doing its own job. Ground is doing its own job. Those particles are remaining independent. This is very radical idea. It's not radical. It has been presented, which was there since time infinite. At least since Mahavir's time it was there. But it was kind of hiding around. And somebody brought it down to the light to explain to us. This is, remember, this is the independence of atomic particle we try to understand. If I understand atomic particles' independence, matter's independent existence, then it will be easy for me to understand my own independent existence too. That I'm not dependent on anything else. I'm independent. I maintain my independence through myself only. There is an infinite amount of vitality present within me, makes me survive, makes me remain present now. Since time infinite, it was present, and it will remain present since time immortal in the future. So this is the independence of each substances we are talking. Soul is moving and does not touch medium of motion and vice versa. Now, listen, what is the function of medium of motion? Medium of motion's function is to be an instrumental cause. We'll go slowly. Medium of motion's most important work is to be an instrumental cause for a given substance who is moving. Once again, who are the independent substances who can move? Matter and soul. These are two substances out of 6 universal substances. They can move of their own. Matter and soul can move of their own. When they are moving, then medium of motion provides instrumental cause to this movement. Fish wants to swim, and water provides water provides instrumental cause for that. Water provides nimic. Similarly, I want to move. I means soul. Soul. Now we are talking. So, me as a soul wants to move. Medium of motion provides instrumental cause. This body, which is associated with the soul, wants to move. Then medium of motion provides instrumental cause for that. Vice versa is also true, that when medium of motion is providing instrumental cause, soul is moving of its own. So they both are independent actions. They both act independently. So soul has its own modification of knowledge and faith. Now we are coming to the soul. Soul has its own modification of knowledge and faith attributes. I have a faith attributes of my own, knowledge attributes of my own. These modes can be pure or impure in nature. Remember, all the 6 universal substances, soul, matter, medium of motion, medium of rest, space, and time. All 6 universal substances, they have modes of their own. Out of all the 6 universal substances, 4, medium of motion, medium of rest, space, and time, they are pure by themselves, and their modes are pure all the time. Just like Siddha Bhagwan, liberated soul has a pure modes all the time forever. Similarly, all these 4 substances, medium of motion, medium of rest, space, and time, they have modes of their own, which is pure. So we are ignoring them. Pure is a pure is a pure. There is nothing more to talk about it. These are 2 guys are confusing. The 2 guys are producing problems. Matter and the soul. They can have a pure mode, and they can also impure mode. And with this impure modes of the soul and matter, this whole transmigration and impure or pure. Now, impure or pure mode, that belongs to soul only. My pure or impure mode belongs to me. I am responsible.
Excuse me, Kirit uncle.
Yes.
Your voice faded out just 2 sentences ago. I missed those sentences.
Okay. Impure. There is a soul and matter can have impure mode or pure mode. Medium of motion, medium of rest, space, and time. They have pure mode, and they are pure and pure and pure. So we don't have to discuss much about it, because there's nothing more to discuss when it's a pure. If you always bring A+ in the school, teacher is very happy. Teacher doesn't have to spend any time with you. It's a dabba guy, the dull guy, teacher has to put lots of time. So here, impure and pure modes can occur in the soul and matter. So now we are talking soul. Impure or pure modes belongs to soul only. Soul has two types of modes. It could be pure mode or impure mode. Shuddha Paryay or Ashuddha Paryay. They both ultimately belong to the soul only. I am responsible for my pure mode. I am responsible for my impure mode. Buck stops at me. I am responsible. So having said that, pure mode produces excellency. If I have a pure mode, it produces excellency, and impure mode produces distortion. Distortion occurring in my life is because of impure mode. That's a crux of the third stanza, that it says impure mode is producing distortion, and that is not an excellent situation. Now, indivisible triple gem of right knowledge, right faith, and right conduct do not touch all the mode of inclination of attachment and aversion. When there is a samyak darshan, samyak jnana, samyak charitra, when there is unity of all the three, when there is a triple gems indivisibility form of right knowledge, right faith, and right conduct, that means the mode is directed to the true nature of the self. When the mode is directed to the true nature of the self, that means this mode does not touch altered mode of inclination of attachment and aversion. Inclination of attachment and aversion, rag and dvesh, is entirely different, 100% different from the mode of right knowledge, right faith, and right conduct. Samyak jnana, samyak darshan, samyak charitra, paryay is entirely different from rag and dvesh. They have kind of solid line of separation between them. From conventional triple gem point of triple gem, there is no rise of absolute triple. Now, this sentence is very important. Conventional triple gem and absolute triple gem, what are those two things? Samaysar will keep on hitting these 2 points all the time. Every stanza, it will the author will mention conventional perspective and absolute perspective. Conventional perspective is, now let's see that there are so many people, so many people are right now on the Swadhay right now. Who is Kirit? Well, I am Kirit, because there is no other Kirit among us right now. So for sake of separateness perspective, we just say, I am Kirit. But am I really a Kirit person? No, I am the true nature of soul, which is existing since time infinite before and will remain for time immortal. I am the soul. But when this soul came in existence in this universe, in this phase right now, at the time, some matter particle got together and came in the form of human being. And when this human being was so-called born, then he was given the name Kirit, and that is me. That's a conventional perspective. Kirit is me, is a conventional perspective. Kirit is simply a name given to the association of the soul and matter particles combination. And that combination is perceived as one, and that one is called Kirit. In that one, things are there. So that's a conventional perspective. What's an absolute perspective? Absolute perspective says, this is the soul, these are the matter particles, this body is a matter particle, me as a soul is a soul. Yes? Yeah. Okay. Is there a question? No, okay. So the absolute perspective, when you see a Kirit, he is made up of infinite matter particles and also soul. So soul and matter particle got together And so when we see them as a separate nature, that's an absolute perspective. Similarly, triple gem, right faith, right knowledge, right conduct. What is the triple gem from absolute perspective? Means me as a soul has a mode. This mode is directed to the eternal nature of the soul substance, and when I'm directing more there, that is called right faith. When I'm directing my mode to the eternal true nature of the soul, at that time, I have a knowledge that me as a soul is entirely separate from all the universal substances, and that is called right knowledge. And then my mode after mode after mode gets engrossed within my true nature. I'm getting engrossed within my true nature, and that is the right conduct. So right faith is to direct attention to the true nature of the self. Right knowledge means I'm separate from everything else, and right conduct means to get engrossed with it. That's a triple gem from absolute perspective. There is also triple gem from conventional perspective. What is that? Triple gem from conventional perspective means faith. Faith in the 6 universal substances, the way they are, to understand that way, that is called faith from conventional perspective. To know every substances and the 7 tattva means auspicious, inauspiciousness, inflow, bondage, shading of stoppage of karma, shading of karma, liberation, all those phases of the soul that I know them. And that is called right knowledge from conventional perspective. And then also to have faith in the omniscient Lord, faith in the enlightened monks, faith in the Holy Scripture. That is called faith also from conventional perspective. And conduct means according to the scriptural message, I create myself having this certain conduct. If I'm the householder, I just have a certain conduct that is appropriate for the householder. If I'm the monk, I'm going to have appropriate conduct according to the prescribed nature in the scripture about the monk, and I'll have the conduct accordingly. They are called conventional conduct. So conventional faith, knowledge, and conduct, and absolute knowledge, faith, and conduct are entirely 2 different things. So from the conventional perspective, you cannot produce absolute perspective. So this is the central theme will be coming in Samaysar time to time. As we are coming again and again in this chapter, we'll be talking a lot more detail about it and see what happens. So let's see what happens next slide. So there is an example given here. When we just said 2 things are separate, means when we just said my foot is not touching the ground, when we just put that kind of theory, here the author is giving some example over here. It says water is hot. Now, in the heat element has not touched the water molecule. Heat is a separate, water molecule is separate. They both have their independent existence. Heat is a heat energy, water molecule. They both are separate in nature. Now, water simply touches its own attribute and mode. Water has its own attributes and modes. Water right now has attributes to show the coolness. It will just remain coolness no matter where the water is. So water has attributes of its own and modes of its own. Now, heat does its own work also. Heat is an element, and heat is doing its own work. Now, this heat is a 25 degree or 50 degree or 100 degree, whatever. That's a heat own individual work. Water molecules' work is to remain in its own attributed modes. Now, water's mode is supposed to be in hot form. Now when I say this is hot water, means what? I have the water with my own attributed modes. So my water's mode right now is supposed to be the hot form. Water is an independent substance and it has a mode of its own. It is cool right now. It's in the ice form right now. It is melted right now. There is thaw occur right now. Mild warmth occur, and then it became very hot. This is water's modes itself. From extreme cool to extreme hot, that's a water's own nature. From ice to the vapor, it's a water's own mode. Now, it is simply present as an instrumental cause. Water is a hot because of its own mode at that time. Heat remained as an instrumental cause. Heat did not do anything to this water. It is difficult to digest this kind of a concept, but it's a fact. When we want to have two independent substances to maintain their individuality, then we have to understand this kind of subject matter. So heat is simply instrumental cause. Water is in the hot form right now. Water's each present mode was supposed to be a hot form, and heat was simply instrumental cause. Fish wanted to swim right now, and water was simply instrumental cause. Water did not do anything to the fish. Fish did not do anything to water. They both remain their own independent thing. Similarly, water was supposed to be hot form in the mode, and heat was simply present in instrumental cause. One must discard this attitude towards instrumental cause and aim only at absolute factor. What we have to say, what the author wants to tell us over here, that we see the water to be hot and we just look at the instrumental cause. It says that make the instrumental cause secondary and make the primary cause as a principal cause. And if we have that kind of attitude, and if we make the instrumental cause or if we discard it, if we give minimal importance or no importance to the instrumental cause, then and then I will be able to understand all the substances. One must concentrate on this way. It says one must concentrate on absolute triple gem, because triple gem is the reason for my true beginning of understanding of my true nature. So I must concentrate on absolute triple gem, not on the conventional triple gem. Here we are supposed to stop over here because the next thing start. Yeah. So we can go through questions now. Any questions? Anybody has any questions so far? So we can just go through. Okay, if not, then we can just close the chapter over here and we'll see what happens. We'll meet next time and we'll just go through further. You know, if the question comes, as I told you before also, you can just throw the email, because these are extreme things, and if I don't build up my base solid here, then 6 stanza onwards, it is going to be totally Greek and Latin. But no, we are not going to have that form that happen at all, because we are progressing, making our foundation stronger and stronger, and we'll have better ideas. Okay. All right.
Hi, Kirit bhai. Hi.
Hi. How are you? Good.
Beautiful. So nice. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Thank you. Thank you.
Ah, I had an excellent time.
Very good.
I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Jai Prabhu.
So we'll close the thing. Yes. सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं सर्वकल्याणकारकं प्रदानं सर्वैनं जयतु शासनं जावाणी के ज्ञान से सूझे लोकालोक सोवाणी मस्तक नमो सदा देत हूँ ढोक। 9 बार नमो का मंत्र। नमो अनंताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो आर्यणं नमो वीरां नमो लोय सौषाणं नमो अनंताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो आर्यणं नमो वीरां नमो लोय सौषाणं नमो अनंताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो आर्यणं नमो वीरां नमो लोय सौषाणं नमो अनंताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो आर्यणं नमो वीरां नमो लोय सौषाणं नमो अनंताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो आर्यणं नमो वीरां नमो लोय सौषाणं नमो अनंताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो आर्यणं नमो वीरां नमो लोय सौषाणं नमो अनंताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो आर्यणं नमो वीरां नमो लोय सौषाणं नमो अनंताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो आर्यणं नमो वीरां नमो लोय सौषाणं नमो अनंताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो आर्यणं नमो वीरां नमो लोय सौषाणं। जय हिंद everybody.
Jai Jain, uncle.
Jai Hind.
Jai
Jai
Jinendra. See you.
Jai Hind.
Jai Janandra.
Jai
Janandra.
Jai Janandra, Kathy. Thank you, Kathy, for joining. Kathy is from Phoenix, and she is also joining. She has a deep interest in philosophy. And thank you, Kathy. Welcome to the Wednesday Swadhay group. We are very happy you are with us.
What if